Chris Collins here, day 32 of American Leadership. What's the date? December 30th and 2024. Doing great. It feels like December 88th. um, let's get right into it. We're going to rock and roll. We're going to talk about some personal leadership today, and we're going to finish that up. The last pillar for me, restorative health. And then we'll get into my X account. We'll talk about some stuff there. Thanks for being here. Glad you're with me, and hope everyone is doing well and working toward their goals and setting their intentions and making their dreams come true. Right? No, just making your vision your reality. And if those dreams, what I like to say is like your wildest dreams, like really you can accomplish beyond that. Like our brains are really limited in that way. Like there's limitless amounts of stuff that we can do and learn and grow into when we try to put it on paper or whatever. That actually limits us. So it's an interesting walk that we get to walk when we move forward and with growth mindset and growth intentions, but we don't want to put ourselves in a box, right? So we get to stay open-minded. All right, let's get into it. I'll share my screen here. All right, we are rolling. So we have personal leadership. We went over faith. We went over friends and family, fitness and health. We went over learning and growth and financial responsibility. And lastly, we're going to go over restorative. Yeah, let's make this a little bigger for everyone. So just I like to think about what does restorative mean to you, right? We know first and like one of the most important thing is sleep, right? So sleep is what do we know about sleep? Well, we know that mammals sleep for around 8 hours or a third of the day, and that's but we don't really know the exact science of what exactly is happening when we sleep. We know, of course, that there's a lot of healing and recovery that happens there. Our muscles, our organs, and everything gets to rest and digest a little bit. Also, our brain, the byproducts of our brain working all day, those get cleared out in the sleep process. So, it used to be kind of a prevailing theory of, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got to work, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. Right now that's kind of out the window, and we're learning the importance of sleep. And some of our most important growth, if not the most important growth, will happen while you're resting. So sleep's important. Other questions I had for restorative or like hobbies. So what hobbies do you have? So if you're like me, if you're goal oriented, if you're trying to accomplish or you have certain goals that you're trying to make, you might find yourself a little bit unbalanced in life. And a way that I found and the way that works to refine that balance is to develop hobbies or to just find what you're passionate about and pursue those things in your free time. So those hobbies can be anything from like reading books. So we talked about that earlier. Could be socializing, hanging out with friends. Could even be like I'll even say like um, if you want to imbibe in a little alcohol every now and then because that de-stresses you and gives you that release, then that's okay. We could talk about abuse later on and how that can affect your health. And of course, disclaimer, alcohol is not healthy for you in any way you can. That's about the healthiest way I can put it. And I've had to think about that and learn about that for years. It's very not physically healthy for you, but I think it can add a bit of health to your overall health if you use it uh, temperately, wisely, cautiously, things like that. Restorative. So keep that in mind. Think that in mind. Like, so as we're on the path, as we're working, as we're growing, what brings us the joy on the outside that keeps us going? Okay. Um, question that you might just ask yourself is, what is rest for you? Some people resting could be walking. Some people resting could just be an easy day, like on the golf course. Some people resting is like, no, I need to be in bed, not doing anything, no worries, no concerns at all. Okay. And then last question that I want to just ask for this, and we'll finish it up, is, oh, sorry, let me check real quick. Okay. How do you ensure that you get an adequate amount of rest? And we can talk much more about this later. I could make a longer video later if need be, if we want to. But what we're asking here, and what basically the principle is here, is like hopefully you can appreciate the importance of rest as it applies to your life and however it fits into your life. I believe it should be something that you build around. So whatever shift you might be on, whatever schedule you might be on, it's important to build off of your restorative activities. Okay, so make sure you find time to schedule those restorative activities, or even better, build your life off of the restorative activities. Okay, so um, this season I am in right now, currently, I'm going to sleep around 8 p.m. and then I wake up between 3 and 4. So what is that? That's 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And it's a little interesting because it's wintertime and I don't see the sun as much, but I have to plan for that. So today I didn't go for a morning walk, planning to get some sunlight later on to get that vitamin D in there. All right, fam, let's switch back out of here. I'm talking to you like you're just looking at a screen. So that was a little bit of restorative aspects of self leadership and personal health. One of the aspects of personal health. Just wanted to include that. That wraps it up. We touched a few items. We touched. Let's see if we can remember. We had faith, family and friends, fiscal responsibility, fitness and health, learning and growth, and restorative. Those are the six things that came to me when I ran this exercise. When you run your exercise, it'll be different. So I'm proud of you if you're doing it. I'm excited for you. It'll make a difference in your life. Let's switch over to X. I'm gonna find my X account here. Google Chrome. Got a few Google Chromes. Let's see if this one works. Okay. Yeah, it's got me up. So we'll pull up an X here. So it's a wild, wild X. A couple videos ago, I was talking about the immigration issue and how Elon Musk had to get involved. Just personally, like it's become a little bit much for me. Like I would totally have quit and walked away and be like, this is for the birds if I didn't have a larger objective in mind. And my objective in mind is not to make anybody happy right now. Today, it's not to achieve 5 million impressions or to become monetized. It's not. What I'm experiencing is that is a lot of people's primary objective, premier objective, and I feel like it hurts their character a little bit, if I'm being honest. I feel like it hurts their integrity. We might run into some examples. Um, I'm I'm sad to see just kind of the people posting and just to be angry, just to get angry. So if you followed last time, I have some notifications set for some people and they're going to go through and talk. And so, excuse me. Okay, Graham Allen's asking for prayers. And so I don't spend as much time right now but I think this is a good example. So we just have buy loser here, right? And so this is a huge account. And I hate to call Cat Turd out like this because this is like the boss of the 30 people that I'm following. So I probably won't tag her. But, Elon asked us, he straight up asked us yesterday, because after the immigration issue, in my opinion, he asked us, he says, please post more thought-provoking, kind, and like just more moral content on this platform. He asked that, please. And so here we have this buy loser. And I run into this all the time, all the time. We have here someone's replying to, so this is DEI, and they're making it, they're just trying to make it an issue. And I will like, I came for this too. But for me, it's like, okay, after we say what's on our mind, like, what are we actually doing about it? That's me. So let's look at my account. Coming up just past 6,000 followers. My ratio is climbing because I need to work on that. This is at 6.4 with 18 reshares. I'm actually going to probably get rid of this as well. Not get rid of it, just unpin it. That will give me the flexibility and the freedom to have other things posted here. I want to create just have that flexibility and also just like readjusting my strategy going forward. It's very interesting. Like you can look at my analytics, and I had great impressions for a few days, and then they fell off. And a lot of people are saying that's happening too because the algorithm changed, and blah 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 blah. And so whatever, again, it's like as within, so without. And whatever your motivation is, that's fine. It's like I am just here trying to create and add value, really to make the world a better place. And like I said, if didn't have a higher objective, if I didn't feel like God was supporting me and pushing me in this direction, I would not be spending as much time as I am. And so a lesson that I'm learning is like backing off a little bit because I'm spending too much time. Yesterday was Sunday. We were just finished talking about restorative activities, and that should have been a restful day, but I found myself constantly checking my X feed, constantly checking my impressions. And I know other people are doing the same. So I don't feel alone, and that it helps. That does help, but it makes me like empathize with other people because other people really are trying to make money, and it's not going to work for them in the long run. Like sooner or later, sooner or later, the truth comes out. Sooner or later, your motivations, your intentions will be revealed. All will be revealed. So Elon has had to adjust the algorithm a little bit to account for things, and I've probably been caught up in that because I used to get on those follow for follow trains, and I was kind of posting into the abyss and may have, said something I shouldn't have said or commented somewhere I shouldn't have. And so, really, that's another thing we're learning is like, okay, maybe it's not as much free speech as we thought it was. Nonetheless, for me, I'm thinking 10 years down the road. So I'm building something here. What I stand for is authentic. It's built on Jesus, and Jesus teaches us that if you follow him and you build on his teachings, that it's like being built on stone, and it will stand through the storms. He teaches us if you don't build on his teachings, and it's like building on the sand, and then eventually it will fall. So I'm building on stone, and I'm building for the future. That's kind of like we like get it all back together and weave it back in. That's what gets a little frustrating, but also provides the perspective. But things are changing so fast that it's hard to pay attention and keep up with those changes and also keep perspective. And so it's just challenging. It's a great brain puzzle. Honestly, it's keeping my brain occupied. But that's where I'm just like, it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much for me. So I'm working on ways to come off of that. Love you guys, and thanks for letting me share. Okay, so I have here an hour ago, I said, want to make the world a better place? Let me help. Join them below. God bless. I got 156 and I got one comment, 5 likes. Why does it feel like December 23rd, an hour ago? 49 views, no likes. Okay. So, and this I posted here because I've learned in the algorithm that right now they can actually measure how long you look at the post. So I noticed other people post things that just make you look at it. Excuse me. So I'm thinking, let me post something that have people look at it. So I've got 49 people that do it. 117 views here. Dun, dun, dun. 4 likes there. There's Colton. Limitless amounts of new things to learn, grow. So in my head, I'm thinking like still how to proceed. And I'm thinking things like this, just kind of one, two liners and just let it hang out there. I want to bring my good morning post just to kind of show that. Good morning, everyone. What's one thing on your to-do list? I have like eight. So I have 16 responses, one reshare, 15 likes, and 499 views. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that because what I'm doing is I'm really trying to build an organic community, connect with people, meet people, and just really add value to their life. Really, like I don't need anything. I'm here to give. Like really, like I'm blessed. I've lived a life. I'm good. Like I've lived a full life. If God gives me another day, I'm blessed. So let's check into my notifications. Okay, so this is probably my best performing post right now. It's got 2,877 views. It's off of American Papa Bear from yesterday, and crowd cheers as girl calls out school board. And I just said, great parents. And he replied, yes. And so that's a good performing post. I think it might be one of the best performing comments on his post. So let's see. This one has a little bit more, and then that's his response. But I think other than that, my posts won this out. And so that's good. And that's one of the things I'm learning. So some of the other ones I post on, I do not do as well. But some communities I do well. So what I'm going to end up doing is stop posting in the communities I don't do well and only post in the communities that I do well. Imagine that, right? That'll probably work out well. So yeah, so he posts this. This is a famous guy posts this. We've all seen this. He just wants to get people to watch and to get impressions, and everyone's looking for those impressions. So there's just a bunch of reply guys right now. We've all seen this like 100 times. I've already had to mute people because it's just this one, it's like a pyramid scheme, and it's kind of sad. Like this particular account, I won't tell you who it is, but there's so many people like, oh, every time they post, they're like, oh, that's so great. Oh, that's so great. And they're kind of like a celebrity. I wouldn't say a little like they're not super famous, like you wouldn't know who they were, but they're maybe like a little famous on here. And that just kind of get like rubs me the wrong way. Of course, like, I'm like, if it were me, I would be, it's like that jealousy probably comes from somewhere else, but also, um, I trust my instincts. And so I do what I do. So that is what it is. But you can see people are just posting to get this, we will not comply. What are we talking about? We will not comply. So, okay, yeah. So they're talking about if you lock us down. So it's just like they just want to hear themselves, I don't know, make themselves feel important. So, anyways, fam, that's all part of the journey. I love you very much. Let me stop and get out of here. Yeah, it's all part of the journey and learning and growing. But I'm a little bit kind of taken aback that I am as disappointed as I am. Maybe the feeling will change, and maybe it's because I'm feeling overlooked a little bit, and so that causes me to want to find fault. So I can look at that weakness and that part of my character and find abilities to grow that, find a way to grow there, because that's really what it's about. I saw this, well, someone shared yesterday. It was really great, but it's kind of how I like to think too. And it's from Tom Brady. And I've never really heard Tom Brady speak, but he had this great comment. He was saying, like, we're humble enough to look at our weaknesses, to look at those areas that we can grow, we can become great, right? And that's kind of something that I've tried to apply to my life is like, look, we don't know everything. The more I learn, the less I know and that we're blind. Like I'm blind. Right now, I'm blind. There are things that I'm completely blind to that I cannot see. But by admitting that I'm blind to those things, it helps me acknowledge that I have room to grow and the ability to grow. So when I have conflict or when I have strife, or it seems that I have strife, instead of taking it out on the world, I can say, Chris, how can you grow from this? And how will we grow from this? That's where faith comes in. I say a prayer every day and I ask God to build me in the way that he would build me. Not that I would build, but his will be done. And on that note, family, we're going to call it a day. Love you so much. See you next time.